afternoon. I'm Stephanie Dreyer, the founder of Batch Cooking Club, a weekly vegan meal prep membership that makes mealtime easier. I am here doing our live cooking class here every week, profiling, featuring one of the recipes from our weekly plan. And this week we are showing you how to make our chimichurri vegetable enchiladas. And you're kind of getting two recipes in one because I'm going to first show you how to make the chimichurri vegetables, and then we're going to layer them into the enchiladas with a bean filling. So they're super easy. They're one of my favorite things to make is enchiladas. And if you've never made them and you've been intimidated, this is a great recipe to try out, and it'll teach you kind of the basic application of making an enchilada, and then you can swap out your fillings for whatever you want. So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our members who are watching. I know Gail is out there in Redondo Beach. Thank you very much. I don't know if we have anybody else, Roberto. We have another person live.
We have Rachel.
Rachel, thanks for joining. So nice to see you today in our class. So I'm going to get started. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I will try my best to get to those before the end of class, and I always go through afterwards and comment as well. So if you're watching this in a replay, no problem. Drop your comments in the Facebook notes below, and we will get to them. So let me get started. I'm really excited about this recipe, as I mentioned, and the key to getting started with the filling is the chimichurri vegetables. And the way we do it at Batch Cooking Club is we batch some of the ingredients ahead of time so that when we go through dinner together later in the week, it's much quicker and easier. So in this week's plan, we're featuring the vegetable enchiladas as one of the recipes, and we're gonna make the vegetables ahead of time so that when it comes to make the enchiladas during the week later, they really come together in about 15 minutes, and they're in the oven and they bake in just 10 minutes. And I promise if you're used to cheesy enchiladas, you're not gonna miss the dairy in these because this chimichurri sauce is delicious. So I'm gonna show you what I've got in here. I have all you need is some parsley. It's a very simple chimichurri, a cup of olive oil, some garlic cloves, and the juice of a lemon. I actually use lime today. You can use either, and some salt. And we're just gonna blend that up. I'm gonna dance while I blend. Okay. And there you've got your chimichurri. Ooh, I'm gonna do a little more because I'm gonna give it a little zhuzh because I see a little bit of garlic. That still is bigger than I'd like it. And we're gonna dance again.
Marcia says hi.
Hey Marcia, how are ya? Okay. So let's do a little taste test. It's so good. Okay, so one little sidetrack on this chimichurri sauce. We designed it for these vegetables, but it is so, you can batch just this and use it as a marinade for many different things. So just as a little side note, keep this in your little repertoire. As our members know, our annual members have access to our recipe library, which has over 300 recipes and it grows weekly. And this recipe is, among others, we've got tons of marinades and sauces in there. So what you want to do is you want to take about 1/4 of a cup of the chimichurri. Oh, and I have the oven on at 350 because we're gonna bake these for just 10 minutes. So I just drizzled, as you saw, the chimi over that, and I think I need a little bit more. And you just want to coat them, obviously. This is where they're gonna get all this flavor, and that's where these enchiladas get their name, obviously, but also a lot of their flavor. And so we're gonna bake them, roast them for 10 minutes, and then we'll toss them with the rest of the marinade when they come out, so they get another burst of chimichurri. I love me the chimichurri. Now, I'm being very polite right now. Normally, I would just use my hands and mix all this, but I'm trying to do it very delicately and ladylike, so it's taking me a little longer, so I apologize. Okay. So you want to make sure too, when you roast your vegetables, that you've got an even layer so that everything cooks. So spread them out as best you can. If you're using smaller sheet pans and need to use more than one, go ahead and do that, but see how I'm kind of flattening everything out. I really don't want anything overlapping. Oh, and one more note about these. So if you can see, what I did did is I took broccolini and I chopped it coarsely, and I also took cauliflower florets and I sliced them very thin. So you don't want to do the whole floret, because when you fold these into the filling for the enchilada, you don't want to bite into like a full floret. So you want to slice these a little bit thin. And then I also wanted to mention, feel free to add whatever vegetables you love or have easily available. I know right now with the quarantine and the pandemic, ingredients are, hit or miss, and you might have a favorite. I know our member Marcia mentioned in the group earlier this week that she loves spinach enchiladas, and I would totally recommend putting that in this. That would be delicious. And if you want to do a green, I'm going to tell you, don't put it in this part. I'm going to show you where to fold that in our filling in just a few minutes, but spinach would be delicious. Kale would be really good too. Okay, so let me stop talking and put these in the oven. So these are going in at 350 for 10 minutes, or about. Might do a little less, we'll see. And while that is roasting, we are going to start our bean filling. Now again, in Batch Cooking Club, we always give you a batch cooking plan so that you can batch a few things ahead of time, so that when you go to prepare dinner later in the week, it's very simple. So these vegetables will already have been cooked and roasted for you, so when you go to make dinner later in the week, you just whip them out, make this bean filling, which you could actually also do ahead of time if you wanted to, and then you're literally just assembling the enchiladas, which is super simple to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. So, for the bean filling, you could use a little bit of this chimichurri as the base if you wanted to, or what I'm doing here is I have just heated up some olive oil, and I have some garlic going, and I'm just heating that up. And I'm going to let that cook for a second before I add in my black beans and some seasonings. And we have here cumin. I love cumin with black beans, so tasty. We have garlic powder and oregano. And we're going to cook that all together. Once it's kind of melded together, you don't have to do much because the beans are already cooked, obviously. This is just one pan drained and rinsed. We will squeeze in the lime juice, give it a little whirl, and then we'll start layering our enchiladas with the vegetables. So while that's getting started, I also want to make a note, the other thing you need for these enchiladas is salsa verde. And we also have a recipe for this. Our Batch Cooking annual members have access in our annual library. We have our own, this is just basically tomatillo sauce, like roasting tomatillos and blending them up with some onion and garlic and yumminess. And we have a homemade tomatillo salsa verde in the library if you want to check that out to our members. Again, that's for our annual members, always included access to that. I have been told that our tomatillo salsa tastes just like this one. So if you want to make it homemade, you could do that ahead of time on the weekend as well. So that's really all you need is the salsa verde, some corn tortillas, and your beans, and we'll get going. So while I hear it sizzling up, while this is cooking, let me tell you what else is on our menu this week. I don't want to, ooh, it smells good. I'm going to add in the beans while we're cooking. I'll tell you what we've got going on. So we have got a little bit of tropical. We try to mix it up every week. So we're never going to give you all Latin dishes or all Italian dishes. We like to mix it up and get you to try different cuisines. Always family friendly, things that we know that the kids are going to love. And we also try to make sure we're varying the types of plant proteins that are in them. And so you're not getting a ton of bean recipes or a ton of tofu recipes. We try to mix it up. So this week we have, let me add in the spices real quick. And then I can turn this down and let it kind of melt. Obviously you just want the flavors to melt together. Like I said, you're not trying to cook anything because it's already cooked, but you just kind of want it to absorb. Oh, it smells so good. I could live in this pan. Go for a swim in this pan. I have to tell you guys, it is so hot. I must really love you because I've got the oven on and it's like what feels like 100-degree weather. Okay. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit and just let it simmer while those vegetables are cooking. Okay, so I'm like already steaming up here. Okay, so we have we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, I see. Sorry. sorry. Hang with us. If I'm wobbling, I will come back. Roberto's got the camera. We're good? Okay. So we have got Hawaiian jackfruit stuffed sweet potatoes. You may have seen that on our Instagram or Facebook. Those are so delicious, and they're using pineapple glaze. So you're gonna make a batch of pineapple glaze on the weekend. You're gonna use that in those Hawaiian jackfruit stuffed sweet potatoes. You're also going to use them in tropical tempeh kebabs. So we're marinating some tempeh, and then we're skewering it with some pineapple and mushrooms, and then we're serving that with a Hawaiian Israeli couscous salad, and that also takes a little bit of the pineapple glaze. So what we also like to do with our plans every week, as our members know, is we take one recipe, in this case the pineapple glaze, and we make extra of it, and we use it in a couple different ways. So you're cooking less and using more, if you will. We're working smarter, not harder. So that's one way we're doing that this week. Ooh, that smells so good. And then we have got so we have the enchiladas, the stuffed sweet potatoes, the jackfruit, and now I'm forgetting the other recipe. And I said I didn't need my cheat sheet. Okay, it's gonna come back to me because I'm totally, no, that's next week. We're making, Roberto, slide that little paper over to me. No? Okay, he can't move the camera. It'll come to me in a second. I can't remember. I don't know, Marsha or Gail or Rachel, some of our members who are watching. Kelly, if any of you have it in front of you, I can't think of what our other recipe is this week, but I know it's delicious. I am seriously like burning up over here. Okay, let's check our vegetables for a second. Ooh, they look good. I'm just gonna turn them around because my oven can be a little bit temperamental, so I'm just gonna turn them around and put them in the other way. But that, you just want them to get a little bit softened. I don't like soggy vegetables. I like to keep them a little bit crisp, so I don't leave them in. I like to cook them just, I say 10 minutes, but watch your oven because for some it might be just under 10 minutes. What was I gonna say? Okay, so that's cooking. This is done. I'm gonna turn this off. And let me talk about layering your enchiladas. So, I'm gonna put this right here. So you want to keep your chimichurri nearby. You're going to have your beans. We'll get those vegetables out in just a second. And you need a casserole dish. I like one like this that's long because it makes it, it's like, I feel like it's perfectly made for enchiladas. And you want to take your salsa verde and you just want to move this out of the way. Can you see okay there? I'll make sure you guys can see the
Alita is watching.
Oh, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so we've got so you just want to coat the bottom a little bit. I like it a little bit more, a little saucy there. And if you've never made enchiladas, it's super simple. I think people make too big of a thing about this. Now there's different methods and ways to do it, for sure. I grew up where my mom would have a pot, 2 fry pans, one full of oil, one full of enchilada sauce, and she would dip first the tortilla in the oil and then in the enchilada sauce, and then it would go into the pan. I'm making them a little bit less, a little healthier, less oil. So I just want and you would do that to make the tortilla a little pliable and easier to fold. So I just want the tortilla to be pliable. So I'm just gonna use the stovetop to heat my tortillas. I will put them in here, layer in my beans, put on the vegetables, drizzle a little bit more of that chimichurri, and then you fold them and roll them over. We're gonna do that with a couple. You can then layer on some more of that salsa verde, go very generous with it, and bake them. Really, they only need about 10 minutes. And then when they come out, instead of cheese and all that stuff that's not good for us, you could put cheese if you wanted to do, by the way. I shouldn't hate on cheese. I love my vegan cheese. So if you want to use cheese or regular cheese, you definitely could put that on and then stick it in the oven. But instead, we are in our recipe, you take out the enchiladas and you garnish them with freshly sliced cilantro and avocado, which is delicious. And then of course you can serve it with more chimichurri and salsa verde. So much flavor. I don't think you'll even need, I really don't think you need the cheese. So, okay, I'm gonna take these out. Woo! I'm like dying over here. Okay. Oh, and I do want to say too, with our recipes, we have alternatives because I know these are naturally gluten-free, but if you have gluten allergies, we always include allergen information for nuts, gluten, and soy. And we also give you an oil-free alternative if you're ditching the oil. I know some people are watching their calories. So, okay, I think we've got everything. Before we start layering, I want to just put a little bit more of the chimichurri on top. Just baste it a little bit more.
Monique is watching.
Oh, thanks for tuning in.
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Monique. I hope I'm getting everybody, saying hi to everybody. Oh, you guys, these smell so good. And by the way, these recipes, you know, get creative. We're using them in enchiladas right now, but these roasted vegetables would be a great side dish with like grilled tofu, grilled vegetable steaks, whatever, you know, whatever you've got going on, you can always add a little nice chimichurri vegetable, right, as a side. And the kids really love this too. If you have trouble getting your kids to eat a vegetable, try putting this sauce on it, because this is a game changer in my house. So, all right, I think we're ready. So hopefully I'm not gonna burn myself here. Let's see. Woo, it's so hot. Is anybody else hot in their kitchen today? It's usually not this hot, you guys. I live by the beach and this is like, I probably should be using tongs. Oh, I actually have my tongs right nearby. I can do that. I usually use my fingers, to be honest. Okay, so I just wanted about 10 seconds on each side to get pliable, like I said. And I'm gonna show you what I mean. You saw the before. So, and you can kind of see the tortilla like moving around. So see, he's movable now. Now he's not gonna break when I put him in the pan. So, okay, so I'm putting it in. I'm gonna show you one really, really slow. So I put it in. I know I've got the fire going, it's okay. I'm gonna put some bean filling. You don't wanna overstuff these. So there's kind of like you'll figure it out as you go to see how much you can fit in. It's always kind of a give. You don't wanna overstuff or else everything's gonna go out. Oh, we need some cauliflower in there. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit more of the chimi. Just a little bit of, Oh, these look good. My family's gonna be happy to eat these. So see, that was like just enough. Maybe could have gone a little bit less because you saw there's a little spillage there. So did you see that? Let's do another one so you can, we'll do more than another one, but so you can see what we've got going on there. So, and I've got some, don't worry too, let me show you, we've got, see these are kind of misshapen. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it doesn't really matter once you put them on the stove. It all kind of figures itself out. So this is my way of doing it without the oil. I'm curious of how people make their enchiladas, if they like to do the oil. I find they don't need it. So why waste the calories? I can have more avocado if I don't put the oil on. It's all about the avocado, you guys. So okay, what else do I want to tell you? For those of you watching who aren't members, we have a free plan that you can, if you want to try us for free, if you're not convinced by this deliciousness I'm showing you right now for this week's menu, you can always go, that one looks a little burnt. You can always go to our website at batchcookingclub.com/free. I'm going to put a little bit more chimney. So it's the same process, you're just layering. And batchcookingclub.com/free, and you can download a free plan to try us for a week. You actually get a week's worth of recipes and the actual batch plan that takes you through what to cook and in what order. We always make sure you're active during our batch cooking sessions because I get it. We're all busy, right? We want to be in and out as quick as possible. That's our philosophy here as a busy mom. When I batch cook, and the philosophy behind Batch Cooking Club is not to get in the kitchen on the weekend and cook everything for the week. It's the idea of looking at our week, planning out some meals, and then taking a note as to which recipes could get a little help in advance. So that's what we do with Batch Cooking Club. We give you 4 dinners for the week, and we give you a plan to, oops, I kind of burnt that one. I'm talking too much. Luckily, we have plenty of tortillas. So the idea is to help you speed that up. And so our batch cooking plans always give you efficiency, right? So while we've got something cooking in the oven, roasting or baking. We're on the stovetop doing something else, and while that's simmering, we've got you at your blender whipping up something. So you're in and out within about an hour and a half, and you get 5 kind of recipe components done, like these vegetables or the pineapple glaze that I mentioned for our kebabs and our salad and our jackfruit. And so that way when you go to cook dinner later next week, it takes you 15 minutes to prep, and dinner's on the table in about 30-ish minutes. So that's our goal here. I know people have asked me a lot, like, what's the difference between batch cooking and meal prepping? And the way I see it is batch cooking is a type of meal prepping, and here at Batch Cooking Club, we kind of have our own spin on what batch cooking is, because I know lots of people approach it in different ways. So let's put some more veggies. I hope this is looking good. Do we have any questions, Roberto? Let me get some more broccoli in there. No questions? Okay, good. Let's see, we're gonna put a little shimmy there. I think I'm gonna get 6 in here, you guys. Oop, I might have overstuffed that one, but that's okay. And my kids love these enchiladas. They're not, so I have a vegan omni family. I have a mixed one. I'm the only vegan, and then my oldest daughter is vegetarian, and then my other 2 kids eat everything, and my husband eats everything as well. But we are, I do all the cooking. So we eat vegan at home, so use vegan cheese. So they're not big fans of that. So a lot of my recipes don't use the vegan cheese. I love these enchiladas, but they were actually a big hit. They love the chimichurri, and they love black beans. So we did good there. And mix in whatever vegetables your family likes. Oh, that's what I was gonna tell you. So, say your family doesn't like cauliflower. I have a girlfriend who hates it. We have an ingredient substitution guide, and we update it every week. Oh, I forgot, we've also got green onions in here. I just saw one in here. I'm like, oh wait, I didn't tell you about the green onions. I think that might be a little too much. And so we have an ingredient substitution guide that we update weekly, and we have alternatives for every ingredient and every recipe. So you don't have to worry about allergens, you don't have to worry about picky eaters, and you don't have to worry if you don't have something stocked in your pantry or it wasn't available at the store. So we got you covered, basically. And of course, we always, for newbies, we have a getting started guide. So, and of course, we have our private Facebook group, so you can always get help and support from me or any of the other members during the week, either as you're prepping as well. So, let's see, we've got 4 in there. Yeah, I think we're gonna fit 2 more in there. All right. I've got the beans. I wish I could think of what that other recipe is, you guys, on the menu this week. I don't know why I'm having like a oh, I know what it is. I just remembered. It's such a good one. I don't know how I forgot this. It's pasta. It's my favorite thing. It's butternuts, cheesy butternut squash shells. And it's one of my favorites. You can use frozen butternut squash if you can't find it in your store right now. Or a lot of times they have it cubed and it's in the refrigerated section. I say take out from the store. Definitely with a butternut squash if you don't want to peel it and chop it yourself. Oh yeah, we're getting 1 more in there. And so there's this cheesy sauce. There's no cheese in it, but it's a very creamy, cheesy tasting sauce that we make using the butternut squash. And then that is layered into jumbo shells. And you really can use any pasta. You're gonna prep that butternut squash sauce during Batch Cook Sunday or whenever you're batch cooking. And then all you have to do when you're cooking dinner is boil the pasta, make a salad, and you're gonna just toss the pasta while the pasta's boiling, make a salad, and then toss the pasta with the sauce. That's it, that's all you gotta do. Super easy dinner, and the kids will love that too, guaranteed. That sauce is delish. Kind of like a mac and cheese, but not. It's a little bit sweeter than a traditional mac and cheese. So you obviously have plenty to make a dozen enchiladas, especially if you don't overstuff them like I'm doing. But why not? This really is perfect for the enchiladas. So what I'm going to do is take my salsa verde, and what I do is I kind of just go up and down and I smother my enchiladas, and if you have there's plenty of chimichurri too. We could even do, I'm gonna save that for the side. I used all of this, and I use my spatula to really get into the nooks and crannies because you don't want them to get dried out. So you do want them to be very covered with the sauce. Come on there. Why is it not cooperating? There we go. Okay. So that, is it still hot? I don't want to burn myself. Oh no, it's not. Oh, these look so good. So you would use this to fill the rest of your enchiladas. All you are gonna do is pop these in the oven for 10 minutes. And like I said, when they come out, when you're ready to serve them, garnish them with fresh sliced avocado and cilantro. And you can serve it with more of your chimichurri if you have any leftover. I'm sure you will. And that is that. Do I have any questions about enchiladas or how to do it or anything? Yes, Roberto, we have a question?
Marcia wants to know, how would you use the leftover vegetables?
Okay, so if you have leftover vegetables, for me, I would use them in lunches or for salads or grain bowls during the week, or you can use them as a side dish with something you're serving like grilled tofu or grilled vegetable steaks. I mentioned that earlier, so I could use them as a side, but for me, whenever I have leftovers from dinner, I always turn them into something else for lunch. And for me, that would be great in a salad. Or you know what you could even do with them too, another idea, I got so many ideas, is top a baked potato with them too. That would be really yummy as well. You could make tacos too, Marcia, as I'm thinking about it. See, I just keep coming up with ideas. Any other questions? No, great question, thank you, Marcia. We always want to use up those leftovers. Don't throw food away, especially now. With batch cooking, right now with this pandemic, I feel like we're cooking more than ever. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed and like, when is this gonna end? So I really hope that our batch cooking plans can help. If you're new to us, please check us out at batchcookingclub.com/free to give us a shot for a week. Memberships start at $10 a month, that's it. And if you're an annual member, it's $100 a year, which is even more savings, and you get access to our library and all of the past meal plans. And then we're here weekly with these cooking classes, but then we also have a private Facebook group for our members where we invite them to share and support each other. I pop in there. I'm gonna be in there a lot more, doing more lives to support our members. So I really hope to connect with you. Tune in every week. You can check out on our events page here what else we're doing. We're doing our some meatballs, vegan meatballs next week. And you can also connect with us on Instagram at Batch Cooking Club. You can connect with me over at Vegemama on both Facebook and Instagram. And I'm happy to connect with you there too. I'm always sharing meal planning tips and strategies personally about my own family. So as a mama of 3, I've got a lot to share. So thank you again for tuning in. If you have any comments, I will be sure to check and respond to, and I hope we'll catch you next week. Have a great day.